Well, today it's going to test your resolve whether or not you are a true gardener, because today it's supposed to get up to 97 degrees here. That's the highest temp so far. We are officially in the before the heat, and then there's after the heat. We are definitely in the after the heat season. We are also in something that I sadly call budworm season because it arrives at just about the same time. I'm going to show you how to tackle those vexing budworms that might be eating your petunias or your geranium buds. We're going to talk about powdery mildew. We're going to do a little bit of pruning. We're going to have a coffee corner moment. What do you say, Stewart?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Now, I talked a little bit about powdery mildew, that I had it on my ajuga. I may have even spotted it on my hydrangeas. Let me know in the comments below if you have spied it anywhere in any of your plant material, whether it's vegetables, whether it's ornamentals or whatever. But for me, and interestingly, I have never seen it on ajuga before, but it's been so wet, it's been so humid, and now it's so hot. These are the prime conditions for it. Now, I've been spraying this for the past several days, and I can already see an improvement. I've been spraying it with this Garden Safe Fungicide 3 products in one. And you can see right here, for black spot, rust, and powdery mildew. Now, as I have also mentioned earlier, you can just Google a homemade recipe to do that. If you make it, then I think it's nice to have a bottle like this, because then you can make it and you can use this same bottle that clearly tells what it is for. So here, let me pull a leaf off so you can get an up close and personal look. So powdery mildew looks just like its name implies. It's like a powdery, just powdery residue. Yeah, powdery residue on the surface of the leaf. Now, it's typically not deadly. It is unsightly. It can make your plants more vulnerable to other kinds of pests, so it's not ideal. For me, it's mostly that I just don't like the appearance of it, and I also want to make sure that I address it before it spreads to other locations. For me, I've got a little bit of it right here, and I've got a little bit of a patch right underneath where the planting table is. But I'm just going to really shake this up. Let me get this stuff out of the way. And I'm down here on the ground because I wanted to show you, this is a low-growing ground cover, and I just wanted to show you what it looked like. This also has some neem oil in it, which is very characteristic, has a very characteristic smell. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I not only get it from this vantage point, but because it's helpful to get underside the leaf, on the underside of the leaf too, I'm going to do it from this direction. And I said I spotted a little bit over here. This is organic. If you're sensitive to the smell of neem oil, you might want to wear a mask. And that's pretty much just it. And I'm staying on top of it. And it typically does require more than one application. So if you've got powdery mildew too, this might be something that you want to keep in your arsenal. I keep one in the front and one in the back. Now let me move on. We'll take a little break because this is a different topic and we're going to switch locations, but I want to talk about those vexing budworms. Now, as I do my morning walkabout and I deadhead these bubblegum petunias in the window box, I am also looking for signs of budworm. And sure enough, I have signs of budworm. So you can tell because the bloom has been chewed. You can see there it's been chewed. This one needs to be pinched off. That one looks okay. But over here, look. Now, here's one that has also been chewed on. And the other thing to look out for, I don't have a lot of it here, but see those telltale black dots right there?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's the excrement of the budworms. Now, last week I literally saw a couple of the worms themselves. I shouldn't throw these on here because they might still have little wormies in there that I can't spy. But obviously, if I see them, I will manually pick them off because I don't want them on there. But I also know that right now this is at a vulnerable stage for budworm. I could go and pretty aggressively put dipple dust or dipel dust over this whole thing. I could also use a spray, but I would have to mix up the spray and I don't have any right now. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to deadhead all the ones that need to be deadheaded. And in the areas where I see signs of budworms, I'm just going to very lightly sprinkle some of this dust because it is kind of unsightly and I don't want it everywhere. And what I've done is it comes in a big bag. You saw the big bag earlier. And this is just an old spice jar. It used to hold cumin seed. Now it holds BT. I need to get a better label on there. But this way it makes it just a little bit easier for me to apply. Sometimes what I'll do, and I do this particularly with my geranium buds, and I'll show you that in the back, is that I will isolate out just the bud itself, just the flower bud, and not necessarily the foliage, because that's what they want to attack, are the buds. So this is a dust version of bacterial thuringiensis. It is a biological intervention, but nevertheless, it is non-discriminating. So you don't want to overly use it because it will kill a monarch butterfly worm or caterpillar as quickly as it will kill a tomato hornworm or a budworm. So use it judiciously and just be responsible in your use of any kind of insecticides, but you guys already know that. Okay, now let's go to the back because I want to show you my technique for putting it on the geranium or pelargonium buds. But first, let's sit with the pumpkin. Let's check on the pumpkin and see if it's growing, and indeed it is. Now you can see it without really even having to pull back the leaves. I spied a couple of other smaller ones, I think, on the downside. I am going to start removing some of the leaves, any of them that look like they might start they might be getting a little pesty. This also is an area where you might see some kind of fungal diseases like powdery mildew, so keep your eye on that. But I just wanted to say hello to the little pumpkin, keep you guys updated, and now let's go to the back. And once again, you can see, here's another update on the hydrangeas that are coming out. Boy, they loved all the rain. This right here, you guys, I've noticed this in a couple of places, that some of the ajuga is turning a little bit yellow. If your plants are turning yellow, if you've got some yellowing leaf drop, that could be a sign of chlorosis, or we've just had so much rain that it is washing out the nutrients and it might need some iron. So you might think about some liquid iron or something if you think that your plants are chlorotic because of excessive rain. So now, and it's another reason to watch for overwatering, because you don't want to, the plants are already stressed from the heat, and you don't want to overwater them and then add insult to injury. Okay, so let's come back here. Now the geraniums, i.e. the pelargoniums, they're going to start slowing down now because the temperatures are hot and they really don't like to bloom when it is quite this steamy. But I have been checking them for signs of budworms, and looky here. So if the droppings and eaten petals are a telltale sign of budworms, so are literally holes in the buds themselves. Yes, that would be.
I probably wouldn't have noticed, but
it is so obvious. It is so obvious, and sadly, I normally have. I know, and I normally do have examples to show you. So here, let me stand up straight over here on this one. again, you can see that they're slowing down. Not only are they slowing down because it's getting hot, but they've also kind of slowed down because we had so much rain and so many of the blooms just kind of got decimated. But here is what I will do. Do I have I don't even have, sadly, I don't even have a new bud to show you my technique on. So we're just going to pretend. Let's pretend that one of these, let's say this one, is in bud form and it's just starting to come out. I don't particularly want to put the dust all over the entire plant. So sometimes what I'll do is I will just, in a targeted way on new buds, I'll just put it on the bud itself. I'm doing this a little bit more aggressively than I normally would, just so you guys can see.
You could have like a different container to look a bit more pointed end on it.
Yeah, more pointed end, and I've used several, but sometimes it's just what you can find. But it's a lot easier than using the big bag and trying to trying to segment out just a little bit of it. So anyhow, that's pretty much what my technique is. So let me know if you've got budworms, and if you've got them, what are they attacking? Because they will attack all sorts of different things. For me, it has historically been petunias and my geranium buds. So there you go. There is one way to address the pest of budworms, and that's with BT. Okay, normally we don't start shooting a segment with the words, okay, I'm on the poop. But at first you can get really frustrated at something, and indeed I did when I saw bird poop all over my table when I was coming out here doing my garden resort check in the morning, treating my backyard like a resort, and my table was covered, the patio's kind of covered in it, it's splattered all over the furniture. So then the question arose, as it so often does when we have these kind of moments, and it was, why is bird poop so white? And thanks to Google, we were able to do a little bit of science for you guys to give an explanation. And Leah, take it away. Talk loudly, girl, because you're not mic'd up.
It says birds excrete uric acid, a waste product, instead of urine. Uric acid is a white paste that doesn't dissolve easily in water, so it can stick to things like windshields or tables.
Oh, great.
Bird poop is a mix of uric acid and feces. The feces is usually the part that comes out in the middle.
Okay, well,
that looks like all.
This looks like all uric acid.
It looks like all pee.
We're going to call it uric acid. Now, Stewart asked, and I said, okay, this is my question of the day, and it's important. He said, Stewart, how old are you?
42.
42. Okay, Stewart said, I wonder if this 33?
43.
43.
Not 42.
Okay.
I got to remember.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Stewart posited the question, is this what whiteout is made of? Well,
so white.
It is so white. And then I said, I wonder if we should ask our followers, but then most people probably don't even remember what whiteout is. That is my question of the day. What? Do you or do you not know what whiteout is? And if you don't, then let me know that, and you might make a guess. Because
that'd be fun, because pretty quickly they'll see other people's comments, but the first few could get down
there. The first, what it could possibly be. So now we have the ugly bug ball with lots of little ants and things coming in to join the party. It is definitely summer. Don't you remember that Disney show? Did you ever watch it? To the ball, to the ball, to the ball, to the ugly bug ball, to the ball, to the ball. Oh, what fun we will have there at the ugly bug ball. I'm singing and around. Okay, well, Johnny would remember that. Johnny and I were just singing that in the kitchen not long ago. And there's a darling, if you can find it, there is a darling Disney cartoon that goes along with that song. Boy, you talk about taking a side road. Sorry about that, you guys. Now let's get back to something a little bit more instructional. Okay, I've been forewarned from everyone how deadly this device is. Today we're going to do some pruning on this olive tree. A number of you have been asking about this, and I just haven't gotten around to it. It really doesn't look bad the way it is, but what I want is for it to look like it's more of a tree, less of a shrub, as I always do. But the other thing that I want to do is enhance how formidable the trunks look. I want them to look more tree shaped, and I also want this to look like an old olive tree that may have been growing in Italy for a while. So what I'm going to start by doing is taking off any I guess just really thin branches or thin stems that I think detract from that look, starting from the bottom. And at first it may look like I have over clipped on it, but that's okay because I am training it the way I want it to grow. So, okay, like butter, baby. So I've got that. I am going to give this two. Yeah, that's beautiful. So that will be really gorgeous inside. Another one I'm going to take off is this one right here.
By the way, when I did finally use those things a couple weeks ago,
you realized how brilliant they were. Yeah, nowhere near as scary
when you're not using them.
Okay.
They seem scary to the outside.
Okay, so I'm going to stand back now, and I think this one needs to go. What do you guys think? This is a team effort. I think this one needs to go because it just looks kind of, I'm not getting a response.
I would say
so
yes,
I'm just going to go ahead and do it.
When you're looking at
I just get emotionally attached.
She says, "Don't take one off."
Can you cut the whole tree down?
No. Okay, that would be my snarky son saying, "Can I just cut the whole tree down?"
Yeah, I would say
No,
yes.
I am not going to do that. Okay, in here, I really don't like.
a better angle, so when you want to illustrate what you're about to move, we can see it better.
Okay, I just don't like the way that one is looking, and I can't. There we go. And some of these I will get a little bit closer to the trunk later. Okay, that is definitely opening it up, and I want it to look open and a little bit more airy. Now I'm going to put these down, and I'm going to get out my other pruners. Let me stand back and take a look at it. And always what I look for is is there just too much density in some places? And if I see that, then I will take it out. And this right here, I want this to grow. Okay, see right here? How,
the best way.
okay, see, this is growing in this direction, and I really want this one to start growing out this way. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it right here at that juncture, and then it will start growing out that way, because I don't think I want to take this one off. It's in its entirety. I am going to remove those little ones. That has a stub on it, little stub. And can you see the little baby olives? Aren't they dear?
Closer. Oh yeah, there's a bunch right there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch.
Yeah. Okay, so down here, I'm going to take this one off. And I just think it looks a little more statuesque than it did before. And we all want our trees to look a little bit more statuesque. By the way, this is some kind of Chatasconcha growing at the base, aka kind of a spiderwort in gray, and it will eventually start cascading out over the side if I let it. I may or may not let it. And by the way, yes, these do have to go inside in the wintertime at my friend John's greenhouse. We're going to have to do something fun with these, you guys. I'd remove that one, but I don't want to remove that little olive. I think I'm going to remove this one. And this one. Always start by pruning off the ones that are growing down. Might just clean this up a little bit in here. And by the way, if you are wanting to make this just thicker and make the entire canopy very dense, almost like a topiary, then you just continually tip prune the ends so that it would eventually start filling out on the interior and it would be a lot more solid. But I don't want that look. I want the look of a tree. So I think, you guys see anything really obvious that's standing out to you?
I didn't. It does look a lot different than it did. Cool.
Okay, I think I'm going to take this one off too. And I've been waiting to do this partly because I really wanted to have some of these olive tree. These are so popular now. If you guys look in catalogs or magazines or whatever, a lot of times you will see clipped olive branches in the displays because they're just so beautiful. Okay, I really like the way that looks. I'm going to come over to this side. It's very fragrant over here. I might...
Are these olives edible?
Actually, they would be if I would let them ripen and I would then brine them. I think that's the process. But I'm not going to do that because I'm not really sure how to do it. And also because for me, the joy of the little olives is just seeing them. And if you didn't hear him because he's not mic'd up, Johnny was saying, can you actually eat the olives? And my response was, yes, I guess if you knew what to do, but I don't really know what to do. So, yep. Okay. There you go. I think I'm going to call it good. You guys tell me what you think. But I am liking its looks. While I'm over here, there's always a weed to pull. And when these encore azaleas in chiffon come out and are in bloom this fall, I think it'll be really, really pretty. And Stewart, let's just go over here and just give people a little peep at my herb box, which is doing well. It is pretty. And finally, some things that just weren't getting enough sun are getting enough sun now. Some of the Swiss chard's a little buggy, so I'll cut off some of those. If I only had some chickens to feed this to, but I don't. So into the compost pile it will go. And this is a lot easier to tend. I don't even have to bend over than in-ground boxes. So there you go. There is a pruned olive tree and a tidied up and groomed planter box. And
you could have got him on camera.
Almost.
Like a wandering Sasquatch.
The wandering Sasquatch. Yes, a lot of you guys said, oh, Johnny just didn't look happy to be on camera. Well, he probably wasn't happy because how many hours is it from Singapore?
Too many.
Yeah, too many. It is a long flight from Singapore, and I think he was pretty severely jet lagging. So, okay, there you go. We've got one more thing to show you, and then we're going to call it a day. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us today. It's been a lot of fun. Johnny just asked, who am I going to extend the olive branches to? So I don't know that I'm going to extend them to anyone, but I might use it for next week's coffee corner moment. How would you guys style it? Let me know what you would do with these branches. If you have not subscribed, please do so. Make sure that you share this. If you want other people to join in our fun, make sure to comment below. We so appreciate you taking the time to spend your day with us. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.